They will never respect you if you do these 3 things. Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about 3 things that you must not do if you want this girl or this guy to start respecting you. So the first thing that I want to get into, which really turns people off and stops them from respecting you, is if you are too agreeable. If you basically are all the time going along with what this person that you like wants. And basically you're doing it at the sacrifice of your own soul. So let's say you are a metalhead and you really love going to metal concerts. Let's say you're like a metal connoisseur, and that's the only kind of music that you like. And your girlfriend or your boyfriend really wants to go to a BTS concert and they really want to drag you along with them, even though it will be excruciating for you and you know it'll be a waste of money buying that ticket. The worst thing that you could do is to go along with them. The best thing for you to do is to say to them, look, I'm not really interested in that kind of thing. Why don't you go with one of your girlfriends or one of your guy friends? But not me, right? Why don't you, or if you're married, then why don't you go with one of our kids or something? Because I'm not interested in going there. I just really dislike that music. You know, you don't have to go to those places just because your partner says so and you're worried that you're going to make them mad if you don't go. Like, don't worry about that kind of thing. You know, it might be true that they might be disappointed that you're not going with them. But if there's something that you hate, don't put yourself through it, and especially don't waste your money on something that you're not going to enjoy and it's just going to kill your soul, basically. And, you know, another example of this, I guess another extreme example, is if you're a meat eater and you really love meat and you start dating someone who's vegan and they try to convert you to veganism and you just go along with it, even though you really love bacon. Like, if you love bacon and a life without bacon is miserable, right? Then don't become a vegan. Like, don't go along with it. And if they don't want to be with someone who's a meat eater, then that's the sacrifice you've got to make, because you've got to be with someone who has the same kind of lifestyle that you do. Now, it might be the case that they don't really care that you're a meat eater, right? Because some people do. Like my wife's parents, her mum is a meat eater and her husband, my wife's stepdad, is a vegetarian, and they eat fine. Like, they get on fine with each other. They don't have any conflict about that because neither of the two really care about what the other eats. So it could be this case that that kind of thing could work. But if that person is like really trying to put veganism on you and you really want that bacon, then you live your bacon life and let them live their vegan life, okay? You can't be too agreeable. And even though they will be disappointed or they might be mad at you for not liking the same stuff as them, for not going with what they want, they will still at least respect you for having a backbone and saying what you want and having that boundary. So be who you are. Don't sacrifice your soul for other people. Don't sacrifice the things that are really important for you for someone else. Have a backbone and don't be too agreeable. Now, there might be occasions where you can compromise a few things. You know, you could do something for them and they can do something for you, and you can kind of make a win-win kind of solution out of it. But if it's something that you are really like stuck in the mud about, and it's, you know, you have a strong conviction over it and you don't want to change that kind of thing about you, then have that backbone and live who you are, because you don't want to live a life that's miserable. You want to be living a life that you're happy with, that you feel fulfilled with. And if eating bacon is one of those things, then let it be that. Do not change who you are and your core values for someone else, no matter who they are. If you're enjoying this video so far, then please leave a like on it and please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if there's anything you'd like me to discuss in a future video, then please leave it down in the comments, or if you have any tips and advice yourself. Thank you so much. So the second thing that will make someone never respect you if you do it, and that is if you stay around someone, you keep on giving romantic attention to someone who rejected you, who dumped you, who doesn't want to be with you, and you want to be with them. You know, don't stick around in friend zone. Like, if you find them attractive, if you want romance with them, don't allow yourself to be put in friend zone, and don't keep on, you know, sending them messages if they're not interested in you in that way and they've stated that they're not interested in you in that way. Also, this goes for people who you may like, but they may, you know, kind of keep you around because they like the attention. This is what sometimes people do when they put people in friend zone. They basically don't really want them to leave their life because they like the ego boost that they get from that person liking them. So they might string you along a little bit, kind of, dangle the carrot in front of your face, basically, but you'll never reach it. You're kind of like a donkey looking at the carrot, but you never reach it because it's kind of like always a few feet in front of you and you just never get to it. So there are some people out there that are like that. There are some women out there, some guys that like the attention that they get from the persons that like them. So therefore they keep them around in their life, just giving them a little bit of carrot here and there, but never fully committing to them. And that's kind of like how you know if you're giving your attention to someone who is like that, who loves the attention, because you won't be able to get them into a relationship with you. They won't be exclusive with you. And then all of a sudden they'll become in an exclusive relationship with someone else. But basically, if they're not with you and if they're not dating you in a way that is consistent and it just feels like you're being strung along and you can't commit them to a relationship, it's more than likely that they just like your attention and don't give it to them. But they will not respect you if you hang about, if you keep on doing that kind of thing. So that's another thing you need to do if you want someone to respect you. I highly recommend, if you feel like your heart has been broken, that you watch this video on Did Someone Break Your Heart, and how to mend that broken heart and how to get better. So the third thing basically that you can do to stop someone from respecting you is if you act in ways that display you feel unworthy around them. So this is basically when you feel like you're dating someone who is way out of your league. Now, when you feel like you are dating someone who is way out of your league and you think they're way better than you, and you feel like you don't deserve them, then no matter what, you're going to display and start acting in ways that kind of shows that. You're going to be really ass-kissy. You're going to go along with what they say. You're going to be trying to do everything to please them. You're probably going to be overthinking everything as well. If you think that this person is better than you, if you start treating them like a god or a goddess. So it's kind of like the saying, if you treat them like a celebrity, they'll treat you like a fan. You can't, so what you need to understand then is everybody's human. Like, don't see them, like, they might look perfect on the outside, or perfect in other ways, depending on how you kind of look at people. You might be actually looking at their personality rather than their looks. But let's be honest here, we do tend to look at the package before we kind of buy. But what you need to understand is that just because they look or act in ways that seem perfect, it doesn't mean that they are. They are just as flawed as you are. They are just a regular human being with wants, desires, with flaws, with idiosyncrasies, with blemishes in other kinds of ways. I can guarantee that they are not perfect on the inside. They are not perfect mentally. They may look perfect. They might be drop dead gorgeous, 10 out of 10 on the outside. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they are the same on the inside. More than likely, in fact, I'm 100% sure that they have flaws and that they have areas of their life that need perfecting on, basically. So just because they seem amazing, don't treat them like they're amazing, because they're not amazing. They're just another human being like you. So a good rule of thumb then is to not display or to not get too attached to someone, no matter how perfect they may appear, until they have started acting in ways that shows mutual interest. Okay, so when you start dating someone and they appear really amazing to you and stuff, remind yourself that they're just human. Try to be yourself. Remember that this person probably has a lot of flaws about them. In fact, to make yourself feel less to make you feel less unconfident around them, you might want to ask them questions, or you might want to look for the areas of their life that they're not doing so great at, so you can kind of feel a little bit more easy about yourself. Because sometimes what can happen is you can kind of get away with yourself. You can go on a date with someone who is absolutely amazing looking, and you can kind of get away with yourself. You can kind of get really nervous and things like that. So when you start talking to this person, start looking at them from a more objective view and get out of your feelings and figure out who this person actually is. What are their relationships like with their parents? What are their relationships like with their friends? What's their career like? Look for things that aren't perfect. Look for those areas so you can really see who you have on your hands here, because sometimes we get so clouded and put on like basically rosy pair of glasses, rose-colored glasses, and you see only the perfect things, which is something that a lot of people do when they start dating someone. But when you start looking at the flaws, you remain objective, you remain kind of skeptical, and you figure out who this person is, that's when you can kind of let your guard down a bit and start feeling those feelings of love. But don't do it too soon, because this person isn't perfect. Don't project your fantasy onto them. So make sure you don't do those 3 things, and they will respect you. But if you do those 3 things, then more than likely that person will never respect you, because simply you just don't have those boundaries and you don't have the backbone. If you would like to get in touch with me personally and you would like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.